welcome to our Leading the Way videocast series. I'm Michelle Graycheck, President and CEO with the National Association of Long-Term Care Administrator Boards. And today with me is Lindsey Creapeau from the University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire. Lindsey, would you like to take a second to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Michelle. I am in NAB. I am an assistant professor at University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire. My background is a bachelor's and master's degree in organizational communication, which is essentially an MBA. And I have my doctorate in career and technical education, specializing in healthcare leadership. I spent a couple of years working in managed care or elderly waiver systems and then in administration with assisted living, and currently hold an assisted living director license. I'm a fellow with the American College of Healthcare Administrators, a certified dementia practitioner, and I just love my job here and teaching our future emerging leaders.
Well, that's quite a list of accomplishments you have. So thank you for joining us today. And we're going to be talking about the HSE accredited programs through universities and colleges. So why did the University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire, or UWEC as we know it for short, think it was important to seek the HSE accreditation for your program?
So our program was the first HSE accredited program in the country, which was super exciting. And we found it really important to focus on all aspects of long-term care. We know that long-term care is 25% of all healthcare services. And so we had a great program before my time and in the years prior to 2018, but the HSE has only enhanced our program. We're really focused on the whole continuum. We had already expanded beyond our skilled nursing focus to include assisted living, but as we were preparing our curriculum to meet that HSE criteria, it helped us be more intentional about weaving in the home and community-based services content throughout our coursework and finding opportunities for our students to gain additional exposure to the services across that continuum. And so what we say in our program is if you have a head for business and a heart for caring, this is a good fit for you. We intentionally talk with students. We're a discovery major. We're working on high school recruitment. We're working on middle school recruitment into our field. And actually, fun fact, our youngest child is in 4K right now. And I got to go speak with them last week about being a boss in leadership. And so talking about how if you want to help people, so that was really fun. But what we say with our program is if you're qualified at this highest level in long-term care, you have so many job opportunities. So the HSE is a perfect connection with that.
Well, that's really cool that you were able to go speak to your 4-year-old's classroom. I've always said that we need to recruit people earlier. People kind of know what they want to do by the time they get to you. So that's wonderful to hear. So what are some of the challenges? I know you said the program's really enhanced what you do, but what are your challenges that the program faced while going through accreditation? And how did your department or your other leaders in the department overcome this?
I guess I would say not necessarily challenges, but just like you said, Michelle, enhancing our program. And so one thing we had to ensure was that our staff was qualified and knowledgeable in all areas of long-term care or post-acute care. And we're very lucky in our program to have a group of faculty and staff that are experts in different areas. So there are 4 of us who teach our students, and we, between the 4 of us, hold licenses in nursing home administration, assisted living. A couple of us have experience working in home care and other HCBS settings, but we also have certifications or qualifications in different areas: dementia, grief, psychology, aging, yoga, and mindfulness. And we're all active in our state and national professional organizations. And so it's critical for us to keep up with that continually changing landscape of healthcare in all these areas. But back to your question, we're thankful that we didn't face significant challenges prior to becoming accredited as an HSE program, because my colleagues who have worked tirelessly to establish this program in the top of the country, we've learned a lot of lessons. So it's important, very important, to be in touch with university and college leadership about long-term care, the importance of our program, the importance of building leadership in our profession. And we say we're small but mighty, and we have such a need for leaders in long-term care, and it's only growing. And so we're thankful to be part of our community, helping shape our future leaders. Okay, back to your question again. It can take some time to complete the program assessment for NAB. We need to gather, we need to write our evaluations, submit our accreditation materials, but I'm thankful that our program starts that process about a year in advance. So we have plenty of time to do that, consider the criteria, make adjustments, gather our materials, prepare our application, and for the site visit. One other challenge I will mention is finding financial resources. Sometimes that can be tough, and we've approached this in various ways in our program. So we have good connections with our chancellor, provost, dean, chair. We also are very, very lucky to have the support of CHAASE, and CHAASE is our mini foundation, is what I call it, and we have donor money that's coming in to support our initiatives. Quite a bit of it. If we didn't have CHAASE, I don't know that we would be able to provide the same amount of high impact practices that we do for our students, and high impact practices is anything outside of the classroom. We've also added a small course fee to our required residency courses, and with us being up for accreditation next year, this is something that we need to again look at for funding. Not that I'm worried about it, but just to make the point that we need to focus on finances. One thing I would point out from CHAASE is that my colleague and I, Dr. Jose Artesenzi, and I published an article that came out, I'm looking over here to get the exact title, in 2023, and it's called Developing Alumni Begins with the Student Experience, a Thriving Model of Long-Term Care Administration Program. And so that article can give people a good idea of how we're integrating those high impact practices, how we're leveraging our partnerships with other providers in the program, and essentially just making this a really good experience for our students.
And that's great. I know we always look to you guys at University of Wisconsin Eau Claire with assistance with NAB and some of those initiatives. So we appreciate what you're doing. So it sounds like you've highlighted some of the benefits you've seen from the HSE accreditation for your program. Do you have anything else you want to highlight of some of the benefits you've noted?
Absolutely. So most of our seniors, let me back up. Our program, typically, if somebody's on a 4-year program, will be on campus for 3 years and then complete a 1-year internship, or we call it an administrative residency. And that administrative residency, we strive to meet the highest standards in the country so that our students can work anywhere. So we require a 2,000-hour internship, which happens over 50 weeks. We also require that preceptors or mentors have 2 or more years of experience as an NHA. So many of our seniors either apply to take their federal NAB exam and or state exams just prior to graduation. Others do right after. And so we have 3 on-campus modules during this year where students return to UW Eau Claire and get to interact with us faculty, but also it counts as some credits towards their courses. And so in those 3 modules, our winter module, which happens in January, is really focused heavily on studying and preparing for their NAB exam. And so faculty, we bring outside speakers, we talk about job opportunities, we give suggestions on how to study for the national and state exams. We've been doing some focus groups. I shouldn't say our faculty has been doing some focus groups on what the different state exams look like. And so that's really when we tell students, you certainly can study before, but we're going to kick it off here. And so they have about 4 months where we're giving them those tips on how to study and what that looks like. We do have several alumni with the HSE credential, which isn't just about the letters after their name, but that's cool. It does illustrate their ability to lead care recipient staff in a variety of healthcare settings. And so as an HSE accredited program, our graduates do have an added benefit through NAB after taking their NHA licensure exams. And I talk about this fully in my classes, and I know other people do too, showing the core exam and those other 3 lines of service. And so we talk about those 2 additional tests, the RCAL and the HCBS. You get a discount since we're HSE accredited, which is awesome. Looks great on your resume, shows that they have all of this access. One other thing that I'll add is that we embed the NAB study guide into our students' educational resources. So at that winter module, we introduce it, show what it is, and they have access for a year to help study for their exam, but also for their NHA exam, but also for the 2 other lines of service. And so we try to convince them, pass your NHA because that's what you've been trained for, that's what you're working with, but also the material is going to be fresh in your mind. And here is this access to a resource. Our program also puts on a spring banquet, which is more like a networking event. And most of our students, so about 150, will come and attend. But then we have 250 to 300 program partners or providers who come. It's really cool.
I didn't realize it was that big.
And you're coming next year, so I'm excited.
Yes,
there.
I will be there in 2026. It sounds like you're celebrating a milestone year as well. So
we are, and we have a really fun plan that we'll reveal there. But the partners who come, they're organizations that hire our students, support them in their residencies, financially support those high impact practices in and outside of the classrooms, in their future careers. And so ultimately what we believe, and I know you believe, is that earning the HSE credential shows that a professional has experience in all of these areas of post-acute care.
And you're exactly right. I think that's what that's important to note, because I think if you're an NHA only and you've gone to a program that's specifically focused on that, it's not the same in all the lines of service. They're all very different, and looking at that and kind of what's going on around our nation right now, that's going to be crucial, because I think we're going to see more of the assisted living, more of the home care markets expand, whereas we might not see the same with nursing home administration. There's jobs, that's not, I mean, we need people, but it's where they're going to be leading that. Yeah, yeah, I think it's super crucial, and we're looking at some ways. We've understood you've had some challenges once they're ready to take their NHA exam, having to apply for licenses in places they might not want to be licensed. So we're looking at a lot of things at NAB for the future.
But I will say, though, that we explicitly at every module, and we do in class as juniors, say, even if you don't want to be an NHA, you need to get that licensure. You got the letters, as we mentioned, but it shows that you can practice at that higher level. And so we really stress that. Even if you don't plan on this, throughout your residency, maybe you decide assisted living or home and community-based services is a better fit for you. Great. We need people and leaders in all of these positions, but get that NHA and then the HSE.
Correct. And I've just recruited one of your recent graduates who is an HSE to help us with our professional practice analysis. So I'm excited to work with that person. Been in it a year. They went back and did their HSE. So another question, I know we'll have other universities that'll listen to this. How would you encourage other universities to seek the HSE accreditation? What would be your message to them? Because I know funding and everything's a concern. It's a lot of work, but we want to make sure we help them where we can.
Mm-hmm. Great question. Thank you for asking. So essentially what I would say to the other universities is we're preparing people for future careers in long-term care and senior living. We know this is a changing landscape, as Michelle was referencing, but people have no idea what they're doing for a career at age 21. It might change 10 years, 20 years down the road. I didn't know what my career was going to be until I was 30. I'm thankful for all of the experiences that I had. It certainly shaped where I am now. But we need to keep that changing landscape in mind and just open students' eyes to what possibilities are. And so having that HSE accreditation to me really shows that the program is intentionally broad. We're looking at that whole spectrum of post-acute healthcare leadership, and we're preparing students for the future with options. They're going to get exposure. But also it helps to establish a common accepted standard that can have our competent leaders boosted. And we desperately need more healthcare workers in general, but also leaders. We're going to continue to need more of them. With the baby boomers aging, we need a strong foundation in education and training that's going to serve them well. And so my message would be that your university absolutely should consider this HSE program. I started here in 2017 when we were not HSE accredited, and have seen a huge change in, again, not to say that we weren't doing things well before that. Our program has always been well known nationally for what we do, but I have seen a change in course content from all of us, and it's really encouraging to see, and I'm excited for the future leaders that are coming out of our program.
And leadership, if anything, we've realized is leadership matters. Leadership is important, and good leaders equal good quality of care because they don't have the staff turnover. It is a different environment. And even heard this recently from the CEO of the Consumer Voice, and she said leadership matters. And so I think when you hear things like that and know how important these educational opportunities to promote leadership, as well as all the skills needed in the job, it's in whatever line of service you're in, it's crucial. So,
and I'll just share one personal story. So I have 3 living grandparents, and all right now have some health issues. And the 2 who are married are in assisted living right now. They were at one before that had a leader who did not go through an HSE accredited program, and we had some issues, and is now in a facility, a community that does have one of our HSE, one of our programs, HSE accredited leaders, and the difference is really amazing to see.
and I think I'm noticing that with the leaders around the country. I too have one living grandparent, and we have been trying to get her into a specific assisted living, and there's no room. And it's because there's nobody ever leaves. And that tells you a lot about how people are being taken care of there. So do you have any closing thoughts you would like to share with our listeners? Because this has been great to talk with you today.
Thank you, Michelle. I would just say I highly recommend any university that's HSE accredited who is looking to support those future leaders in long-term care pursue the HSE accreditation. And this has really only enhanced our student and alumni experience. So thank you to NAB for our accreditation. And we're up again in 2026. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I think you guys will be A-okay.
But seriously, thank you. Having the NAB accreditation just makes us stronger and gives us credibility for those that we're talking with to recruit those future leaders.
Well, thank you for all you do to help develop our future senior leaders, our health services administrators. I know your program graduates a very large number of those individuals, and we appreciate it at NAB. Before we conclude, I would like to tell our listeners, if you're interested in learning about academic accreditation or HSE academic accreditation, or other initiatives NAB is working on, please visit our website at www.nabweb.org, so that you too can help us lead the way. Thank you, and have a great day.